Melk Abbey is one of the world's most famous monastic sites. It's located above the small town of Melk, on a rocky outcrop overlooking the Danube River in Lower Austria, adjoining the Wachau Valley. The abbey was founded in 1089 when Leopold II, Margrave of Austria, gave one of his castles to the Benedictine monks from Lambach Abbey. A monastic school was founded at Melk in the 12th century, and the monastic library soon became renowned for its extensive manuscript collection. The monastery's scriptorium was also a major site for the production of manuscripts. In the 15th century, the abbey became the centre of the Melk reform movement, which reinvigorated the monastic life of Austria and southern Germany. Today's impressive Baroque abbey was built between 1702 and 1736. Especially noteworthy is the Abbey Church, with its frescoes by Johann Michael Rottmeyer. And the impressive library, with countless medieval manuscripts, including a famed collection of musical manuscripts and frescoes. Due to its fame and academic stature, Melk managed to escape dissolution under Habsburg Emperor Joseph II, when many other Austrian abbeys were being seized and dissolved between 1780 and 1790. The abbey also managed to survive other threats to its existence during the Napoleonic Wars, and also in the period following the Nazi Anschluss that took control of Austria in 1938, when the school and a large part of the abbey were confiscated by the state. The school was returned to the abbey after the Second World War and now caters for nearly 900 pupils of both sexes. The beautiful Melk Abbey. And just below the abbey is where we start our Danube River cruise.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Wachau is one of the most attractive stretches of the whole Danube Valley. Its mild climate promotes the cultivation of peaches and apricots along the south bank, and excellent wines on the terraces above the river. The beginning of the Wachau is marked by Schönbühl Castle and Monastery. The castle was mentioned as early as the 9th century. It was given its present look in the 18th and 19th century. The Servite monastery was founded in the 17th century by Count Starkenberg. Ladies and gentlemen, on the right bank is the Dunkelsteiner forest. If you look up the cliff on the right, you will see the ruins of Hackstein. It was built as a fortress in the 12th century by the Kuenring family, which went down in history mainly as a gang of robber barons. Whether rightly or wrongly, it's hard to say. There are many stories about the Kuenrings, one of which concerns the so-called Little Rose Garden at Hackstein. This was a rock ledge above a garden. From it, the Kuenrings made their prisoners jump to their death. Ladies and gentlemen, on the left bank is the little village of Willendorf. In this area, a prehistoric limestone statuette was found. It is about 11 centimeters high and is known as the Venus of Willendorf. Another Venus was discovered in Willendorf. It is carved from a mammoth tusk. Ladies and gentlemen, we are in the center of the Wachau and are approaching one of the principal towns, Spitz. This is the location of the so-called 1000 Eimer Hill. The Eimer is an old vintner's liquid measure and corresponds to not quite 57 meters. The vintners claim that in good years they can harvest from the vineyards on this one hill 1,000 Eimers of wine. That's 57,000 liters. Ladies and gentlemen, we are now in both the geographical and historical heart of the Wachau. On the left bank is the fortified church of St. Michael. Built around 1500, it is the oldest parish church in the Wachau. Ladies and gentlemen, ahead of us to the left is Weißenkirchen. Together with two other villages on the same bank, Joking and Würsendorf, it once formed the original Wachau. The region was also called Wachova, or Latinized, Wachawia. Ladies and gentlemen, we are now approaching the most famous town in the Wachau, Dürnstein. High above the town, you see the ruins of what was once a huge castle. It belonged, like Augstein, to the Cohenring family. In 1192 and 93, the English King Richard Lionheart, who had been captured by Duke Leopold V, was held prisoner in Dürnstein Castle. According to legend, his faithful minstrel, Blondel, found him by singing a song. They still sing quite a lot in Dürnstein. After all, the town is in one of the best-known wine-growing areas of the Wachau. Ladies and gentlemen, we are now approaching Krems. The region was settled as early as the Paleolithic Age. In the year 995, Krems was described in a document of the Emperor Otto III as an imperial fortress in the eastern country. In 1136, Krems was raised to city status. A few years earlier, it was minting its own coins, known as the Krems pennies. In 1305, Duke Rudolf III granted Krems the same rights as Vienna. Across from Krems, you can see on the hilltop the Benedictine Abbey of Gertweig. It was originally consecrated in 1083. The abbey was destroyed by fire in 1718. The abbot intended to rebuild the whole monastery, but only part of the plans by the architects Lucas von Hildebrandt and Jakob Pontauer were actually carried out. Gertweig Abbey owns outstanding art collections, among them the largest private collection of graphic art in Austria.